So today I'm going to be listening to Necklaces by American composer Michael Winter. This is a piece for plucked strings. It's technically a variable instrumentation piece because it can be any plucked strings. Guitar is how it's been performed in the past and probably makes the most sense, but you could do any plucked string instrument, I would assume. So this is what the notation looks like. It'll make sense in a second, just bear with me. So in the provided score, each cell indicates a picking pattern given by tablature, where each line represents one of four strings. The ring around a cell is an alternative representation where the numbers, starting from the number centered above the tablature and moving clockwise, correspond to the strings of the picking pattern. So for example, the first one, you just keep plucking string 0. Then the next pattern, you go 0, 1, 0, 1, then 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Eventually you get all four strings. You get patterns like 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 3, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 3. Actually, that's not all of the strings. It's just 3 of the 4, but what's a good example? This pattern here is 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, 2, etc. So each string is tuned to the same pitch with very slight detunings acceptable, and they may be played open or stopped. And the piece is just like constantly plucking throughout. So rhythmically and dynamically, it's just this pulse. Obviously, as a performer, you're not going to be able to do that perfectly, so those imperfections are going to become noticeable as the piece progresses. And then the tempo should be comfortably fast so that it's kind of this uniform picking. On a guitar, you'd be picking with your fingers like this. Each cell should be repeated at least 5 times. It can be played just on its own for a solo instrument. It can be played with a accompaniment of electronics. That fixed media part is called quieting rooms and is also a standalone piece. And then it can also be accompanied by some other instrument, for example, a piano, or anything else that can sort of play those notes with a sharp attack an octave lower and sustained. So yeah, I don't know what else you would use other than piano for that. Maybe another keyboard instrument or a double bass or something. In the latter two, the accompaniment starts well before the entrance of the main string player. So I'm assuming that the 4 different strings would be of different thicknesses, so there is a timbral difference that you can hear. Obviously, also on guitar, like your 4 fingers you're using are gonna have different weights to them and angles. I guess if this was on a harp or something, you would have like maybe 4 strings like this, and then like the action itself is gonna change the timbre, I guess. The cells in the score represent all possible unique picking patterns of 4 strings. That's it. So there you go. And it's basically, that's why there's this notation around it. It's like in base 4, basically. Kind of interesting. Then the piece quieting rooms, so that electronic part, can be produced by this super collider code, which is provided at the end of the score. And the score itself is quite short, right? It's like 2 pages. But you can imagine if you're repeating these things over and over again, it could last a really long time. I think I'm going to find a version without the electronics. So it's on this album, Lower Limit. And yeah, you have the solo version and the version with electronics. I'll just click on the YouTube link and we'll have a listen. I've listen to sections of this piece. I've never actually listened to the full thing. Um, I may not even really listen with the score today. I've had kind of a rough day, so just gonna lie back and enjoy. I encourage you to listen as well, and I think this score is freely available on Michael's website if you're interested in it. We'll see you all in 13 minutes. Okay, so I hope you listened along today. I thought this piece was really compelling and interesting. And yeah, the four strings in this case had very different timbres and were slightly out of tune, although I think they got more out of tune as the piece progressed, which was kind of interesting. It made me think of like abstract shapes kind of like bouncing all over in different directions. It was very, yeah, primitive and abstract and kind of spatial. Um, but it's just like different timbres, different harmonic series emphasizing one another. So I don't know, it's very surreal experience. I think it communicates Michael's philosophy really well. This idea that behind everything is data and everything can be digital kind of thing. Um, yeah, just very and like there's this humanness to it as well. Like it's you can really hear the humanity in the performance, and even though the instructions are for it to be as even and mechanical as possible, there's still that human element there, which is really really intriguing. So yeah, I thought it was a really cool piece. Um, be curious to hear it in like on other instruments, maybe as a duo version. I don't think there's a recording of two people playing it, even though that is a way it can be played. So something to consider. It's like seems very easy to put together, and it's 13 minutes long, so it takes up a nice chunk of a program. Um, yeah, that was Necklaces. I didn't even mention what year it's from. I think it's like 2014 or something. But let me pull up what's next here because I forget. Ah, yes, tomorrow we're doing a shorter one. It's called Instrument and Voice by Peter Ablinger, our first score of Peter Ablinger's.